afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. Another beautiful day out there.
Oh, I know. It feels great, doesn't it?
It really does. It's going to be heating up, though, so enjoy it while you can. We'll get to the weather in just a bit. But first, topping our news today, Madison and Dane County are requiring vaccinations for their workers. Our Jamie Perez is live to tell us more.
Campaign finance reform. It may not be sexy, but many think it's necessary. Naomi Coles tells us all about what happened today.
And it isn't the library you know and love, but your dog sure will. We'll explain. A little stick library. Let's take a look outside on this Tuesday. The geese are enjoying the shade, I guess. Shouldn't they be in the water?
I'm taking a little break.
Just like today, tomorrow. Here's Julian outside with the details.
That's right. Just like today and tomorrow, we are going to be looking at still some gorgeous weather for us. Not a whole lot of heat. And as we can see outside of our sky cam as of right now, still looking at plenty of sunshine, but a couple of clouds are lingering as we go into our evening hours. But for right now, it's feeling 82 degrees, feeling pretty good as we go in throughout the rest of our evening hours. And on top of that, we're going to start to see, for the most part, we do have some clear conditions all across, but we were seeing some showers and a little bit of lightning over into the Dells, but for the most part, we're all seeing some clear conditions as we get into our nightly hours. Now, as we take a look for tonight, it's going to be 58 degrees, mostly clear, very pleasant as well. Now, as we check out our traffic, we are looking at some slow parts, but for the most part, all green. Some areas are into the yellow and some red, but for the most part, we're looking at some pretty good conditions to get to where we need to get to for tonight. Over back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Julian, thanks so much. We'll check back in just a little bit. Breaking just within the past hour, the UW-Madison Chancellor's Office released a statement saying that effective Thursday, face coverings will be required in all indoor public spaces on the UW-Madison campus. This is in line with other Big Ten universities like Minnesota and Purdue, Ohio State, and Michigan State.
And look at these organizations, whether you're the police or fire department, all Madison and Dane County employees will be required to get a vaccine or test negative for COVID each week. They join private companies like SSM Health, who announced a similar policy this summer.
The announcement was made this morning following a handful of other businesses in the area that are starting to implement similar policies.
Jamie Perez tells us about the new rules thousands will have to follow. Jamie.
Right, well, these rules now apply to more than 5,000 city and county employees, regardless of if they are working from home or not. Now, these rules take effect within the next couple of weeks. And prior to this announcement, masks were optional in city and county buildings, and vaccination was not required. But with the Delta variant causing more concerns, both the city and county wanted to take that extra step forward to prevent more COVID cases from happening.
We will do what's needed to protect our workforce and those they serve. With Dane County now requiring our employees to be vaccinated or show negative test results, I urge other employers to do the same.
Employees will also be required to wear masks in any city or county building, even if they're already vaccinated. Employees who fail to comply will be subject to discipline, just depending on the circumstance.
Jamie, thank you. Dane County isn't the only county. This morning, New York City enacted a new vaccine mandate.
So today I announce a new approach, which we're calling the Key to NYC Pass. The key to New York City. It will require vaccination for workers and customers in indoor dining, in indoor fitness facilities, indoor entertainment facilities. This is going to be a requirement. The only way to patronize these establishments indoors will be if you're vaccinated, at least one dose. The same for folks in terms of work. They'll need at least one.
The key to the NYC Pass policy will be a first in the nation and is similar to mandates issued in France and Italy last month. Mayor de Blasio has been trying to curtail a third wave of coronavirus cases. He's requiring city workers in New York to get vaccinated or face weekly testing, and has offered a $100 incentive to the public if they get the vaccine. New Yorkers will be able to continue to dine outdoors without showing proof of vaccination, but in order to enter indoor venues, they must use the city's app, the state's app, or a paper card that will show proof of vaccination.
In other news, there are two big questions that shape political races as we understand them. Who pays for them and by how much?
State Democrats are renewing a push today to reverse law changes from 6 years ago that fundamentally reshaped how campaigns are financed in Wisconsin today.
Naomi Coles joins us with more. Naomi?
Democrats want to cut the amount of money that someone can donate to a political candidate in half, so from $20,000 to $10 grand. $10,000 would also be the cap of what they want people and groups to be able to donate to a political action committee. That's something that right now is basically unlimited with a few exceptions. Unlimited donations is a fairly new development in national political history, dating back to a 2010 Supreme Court decision, Citizens United.
With the Citizens United decision and greatly weakened campaign finance laws, that mudslide of special interest money has gotten worse in Wisconsin. The numbers tell the story. From 2010 to 2014, only 16.7% of campaign contributions came from PACs. Fast forward from 2016 to 2020, this amount had risen to 57.8%.
Now, Democrats, both state and nationwide, have long opposed that Supreme Court decision, and part of the bill package unveiled today would put a referendum on your 2022 general election ballot, asking you whether you support a constitutional amendment that would overturn it. Republican Assembly Speaker Robin Vos didn't respond to my questions about the legislation today, but similar bills didn't make it through a 2017 Republican-controlled legislature.
All right, Naomi, thank you. The Rock County man accused of killing his grandmother is headed for trial. Jamie Beggs waived his preliminary hearing this morning. He's charged with first-degree intentional homicide for the murder of Kathleen Beggs. According to a criminal complaint, Beggs told authorities he was seeing demons before the murder.
Wisconsin State Senator Chris Larson is dropping out of the race for U.S. Senate. Today, Larson backed Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. The seat is currently held by Republican Senator Ron Johnson. A crowded field of Democrats is hoping to win the seat from Senator Johnson. In a statement, Larson said he remains committed to electing Democrats who fight for progressive values.
Today, residents who live above Change Boutique on Willie Street found out they will be allowed to stay. A car crashed into the shop yesterday, causing extensive damage and evacuations. The City of Madison building inspector has conducted an assessment of the damage. The owner of Change Boutique says they'll try to sell items off-site while repairs are being made. The store says it does not want donations. Instead, it's asking for people to buy their products.
A defiant New York Governor Andrew Cuomo challenged an independent investigation's findings that he sexually harassed multiple women.
I never touched anyone inappropriately or made inappropriate sexual advances.
Investigators say an employee who they identified as an executive assistant #1 endured repeated physical violations. The 5-month investigation also found the governor's administration created a hostile work environment.
The governor and his senior team took actions to retaliate against at least one former employee for coming forward.
This investigation does not carry any penalties. Whether or not Governor Cuomo will face civil or criminal charges will be up to the accusers and law enforcement. The Attorney General's report is expected to factor into whether the New York State Assembly decides there are grounds for impeachment. And just within the past half hour, President Biden has asked Governor Cuomo to resign.
The Biden administration is pushing state and local officials to rapidly disperse tens of billions of dollars in COVID relief rental assistance days after the federal moratorium on evictions expired.
The lawmakers and advocacy groups say it may not be enough for the millions of Americans facing eviction. Natalie Brand reports from Capitol Hill.
So remember that
For the past 5 days, Missouri Congresswoman Cori Bush has camped out on the steps of the U.S. Capitol as millions of Americans face possible eviction following the recent expiration of a federal moratorium.
I do know what it's like to have babies sleeping in a car with trash bags, my belongings, everything I own in trash bags, because I know what that's like. There's no way that I could sit back and be quiet.
Civil rights activist Jesse Jackson visited Bush Tuesday along with clergy members and other House Democrats. Nationwide advocates are preparing for an influx of requests for help.
We face the very real possibility in the coming weeks and months of both a historic wave of evictions and housing instability, and further spread and preventable deaths from COVID-19.
House Democrats say Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told them on a call Tuesday that her department is working hard to help cities and states distribute more of the $46 billion in emergency rental assistance that's already been approved by Congress.
There's a great deal of funding that has not gone out nearly as quickly as it should have gone out. We recognize that issue.
In addition to tenants worried about losing their homes, Bob Pinniger of the National Apartment Association says small property owners and independent rental owners are hurting too.
This has gone on for such a long period of time. We're over a year now, and people's savings are being depleted in a dramatic way.
Advocates say it could take weeks or even months for the federal aid to be distributed. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Well, the Senate has unanimously awarded the Congressional Gold Medal to the officers of the U.S. Capitol Police and the D.C. Metro Police for protecting the Capitol during the January 6th assault. The measure now heads to President Biden's desk for his signature. The Congressional Gold Medal is the highest expression of national appreciation. More than 150 officers were injured during the violent riots nearly 7 months ago. 4 officers who responded to the attack have died by apparent suicide.
Gymnast Simone Biles won a bronze medal on the balance beam this morning, nearly a week after she dropped out of several events at the Tokyo Olympics because of mental health issues. Biles placed her hand on her chest and let out a sigh of relief as she nailed her dismount from the beam to win the bronze medal. A welcome ending to a nearly week-long break from the Olympics after struggling with her mental health.
To bring the topic of mental health, I think it should be talked about a lot more, especially with athletes, because I know some of us are going through the same things and we're always told to push through it, but we're all a little bit older now and we could kind of speak for ourselves. But at the end of the day, we're not just entertainment, we're humans, and there are things going on behind the scenes that we're also trying to juggle with as well on top of sports.
With that bronze medal win, Simone Biles now has 7 Olympic medals. She is tied for the most medals won by an American female gymnast. Biles says she changed her dismount while dealing with a mental block surrounding something called twisting. She adjusted the routine so there was no twisting required.
Well, perhaps you've seen those little free libraries. You know the concept, take a book, leave a book. Well, somebody took that concept to the dogs. It's called a little stick library, and much like their more famous counterparts, the rule is take a stick, leave a stick. This one's located off the Royster Oaks Drive over on the east side of Madison. Feel free to incorporate the idea into your yard, because life is better when dogs are happy.
That's such a great idea.
I have one dog who'd go for this and one not. Oliver likes to carry around a stick. Well, still to come at 4, London's human Spider-Man is at it again.
We'll see what London building he climbed today. That's when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need. And we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Living longer is possible and proven with Kisqali when taken with a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor in premenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
It's only paint. It's only paint that comes in an award-winning twist and pour container. It's only paint that can cover the brightest shade of orange known to mankind in just one coat. It's only paint that will help you become TV's hottest writer, where one day you'll meet this guy who starred in that thing. So yeah, it's only paint. Only easy opening, smooth pouring, change your life both professionally and romantically. Paint. Right now at Menards, get 11% off everything, including Dutch Boy paint.
designer kids package, or free lens upgrade. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Welcome back. A 21-year-old free climber who was in prison 2 years ago for climbing the UK's tallest skyscraper has scaled another building.
This time, he's trying to draw attention, he says, to climate change. George King Thompson climbed up the 36-story Stratosphere Tower, a residential block in East London's Stratford, unaided early this morning and reached the top in less than half an hour. The former personal trainer said he picked the skyscraper because he was shocked by flash floods that had recently hit the area.
A week ago, I was in Stratford Station and I saw Stratford Station flooded and a photo went viral of it. And I wanted to raise awareness to the seriousness of climate change at the moment, because only a week before that, there was a heat wave throughout London. So I think it's a stark reminder as to the seriousness of climate change. And I hope to raise awareness by climbing this building to urge political leaders to take action imminently.
Well, King Thompson admits climbing buildings is dangerous, but stressed that he planned the climb so he wouldn't be a danger to the public or cause disruptions. He also made it clear that he is not encouraging people to climb buildings. King Thompson was arrested after scaling the Shard in London. That's the UK's tallest skyscraper in 2019, after the owners of the building pressed charges against him for trespassing. He was sentenced to 6 months in prison in October of 2019. And served 3.
Well, stocks ended in positive territory today, drifting to just below all-time highs. The Dow Industrials added 278 points, ending the day at 35,116. The NASDAQ was up 80 points. The S&P 500 tacked on nearly 36. Well, they are the words the staff at ISMAS have been waiting to write for 15 months. The print edition of the paper is coming back.
ISMAS has been a weekly staple in Madison for more than 4 decades. It started in 1976.
The paper was forced to go on hiatus in March of last year due to the pandemic, but it will return as a monthly publication Thursday, August 5th. Judy Davidoff is the editor of ISMAS. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Take us back to March of last year. What was going through your mind? What happened?
You know, it happened so quickly. There was not a lot going through at that beginning. We, went into work as usual. Our deadline was Wednesday at 4 o'clock. We had that weekend before, we had an entirely different cover story planned. And then as, COVID started getting more and more serious here, and everyone knew that there were restrictions coming down, we had to really rework the entire issue to have it almost all COVID focused, and we did a different cover story. And so we just worked through that day. Wednesday, got the paper out. Next day, Thursday, it came out as usual. But by that afternoon, it was clear that, advertisers were already pulling out for the following week's issue. And, there was the conversation with the owners of the paper, and it just seemed like the thing to do would be to go on what had been hoped to be a temporary hiatus. Everyone at that point thought maybe things would, clear up in a couple of months, and then things would return. So it was really quite a shock that Thursday afternoon to have the meeting with the owners and to, hear that we would pretty much be shutting down immediately, at least the print.
And why is now the right time to be back?
Well, there are a lot of reasons. I mean, you know, in some ways, we did think that everything was going to be reopening now. And of course, for the last month, that was true. We're seeing, you know, different developments now, and we don't know how that's going to work out. But at least for the summer, when people can be outside, you know, concerts were back on, some festivals were back on, dining was outside. You know, we basically worked for a little bit more than a year trying to figure out the nonprofit organization. So the owners haven't been involved. They just decided that it was not financially feasible for them to continue. They donated the intellectual property of Isthmus to us with the understanding that we would move forward and create a nonprofit organization. And so that's what we did. So we got all those pieces in place, which, you know, included filing an application with the IRS. We got our official status in April. And we just, you know, bit by bit put the pieces in place to, we had a reader donation program that the former owners did put in place in April of 2020. We continued that. We did fundraising. It was just, it felt like it was now or never. You know, we do see, I mean, print still, the sponsorship rates are still more lucrative. And we needed to get people back on staff. People had been pretty much working volunteer. And it really did feel like it was a now or never.
Well, it's a pretty exciting time. We're looking forward to seeing the first issue on newsstands this coming Thursday. Judy, thanks for being with us today.
Congratulations, Judy. Great to see you.
Thank you very much. Same here.
Well, NASA and Boeing have postponed today's launch of Boeing's Starliner spacecraft after engineers discovered issues with the propulsion system.
NASA would eventually like to use the spaceship to get astronauts to and from the International Space Station. Boeing's last attempt in 2019 did not go as planned, so a lot is riding on this do-over.
Mark Strassman reports from the Kennedy Space Center.
And liftoff. Space is hard. So hard, it can make even the biggest aerospace company in the world feel small.
Vehicle is now passing through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure.
For Boeing, that was December 2019.
And we have good indication of separation of the OFT capsule.
Minutes after separating from the rocket's second stage, Boeing's Starliner flew into trouble. Its onboard engines were supposed to fire, boosting the spacecraft into orbit. That did not happen.
And we do have an off-nominal insertion reported.
Another problem. Flight controllers could not communicate with Starliner. By the time they could, it was too late. Without enough fuel left to reach the International Space Station, Starliner returned to Earth.
And Starliner touches down in the desert in New Mexico.
A NASA-Boeing investigation recommended 80 actions before Starliner should fly again.
We addressed every single one.
Former NASA astronaut Chris Ferguson has spent the last decade developing Boeing's Starliner.
Was it humbling? I think humbling is a good word to use. It was a good cause, at least for everyone involved in this program, to take a step back and look and see where we came up short and we needed to sort of bolster. And I think, you know, company-wide, that there was a lot of introspection.
In 2014, NASA awarded SpaceX and Boeing multi-billion-dollar contracts to ferry its astronauts to and from the ISS. Both companies suffered setbacks.
And look at them go.
But SpaceX has flown 10 astronauts over 3 flights to the ISS in the last year.
Do you still believe that having a second option is necessary?
Absolutely.
Bill Nelson is NASA's administrator.
What if we had only selected Boeing? We would still be on the ground. We would still be relying on the Russians. I think the proof's in the pudding.
The new and improved Starliner rolled out of Boeing's factory and off to the launch pad. The capsule was hoisted on top of its Atlas V rocket, Boeing's chance to redeem its space reputation.
Is there a fair amount of pressure on this for the company to nail this one?
There is a perceptible need to go out and be highly successful. And I think some of the pressure is self-induced, and I think from a company level, right, they want to see us be very successful as well.
Mark Strassman, CBS News, at the Kennedy Space Center.
It's pretty exciting. It really is. Well, still to come at 4, temperatures are on the rise, and so are deals of the month.
Consumer Report shows us the hottest deals for August, coming up after Julian's First Warn forecast.
At Pick and Save, every free pickup order is picked fresh and packed with care, or we'll make it right. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
My heart failure diagnosis changed my priorities. I want time for the people I love. My heart doesn't pump enough blood, so my doctor gave me Farxiga. It helps my heart do its job better. Farxiga helps keep me living life and out of the hospital for heart failure.
Do not take if allergic to Farxiga. Symptoms of a serious allergic reaction include rash, swelling, difficulty breathing, or swallowing. Stop taking and seek medical help right away. Tell your doctor right away if you have red color in urine, or pain while you urinate, or a genital area infection, since a rare but serious genital infection may be life-threatening. Do not take Farxiga if you have severe kidney problems or are on dialysis. Other serious side effects include dehydration, sudden kidney problems, genital yeast and bacterial infections in women and men, urinary tract infections, and low blood sugar. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of ketoacidosis, which is serious and may lead to death.
More time with her? Sounds good to me.
If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
I'm so glad you're okay, Sergeant Houston. This is Sam with USAA. Do you see the tow truck?
Yes, thank you. That was fast.
Sergeant Houston never expected this to happen, or that her grandpa's dog tags would be left behind. But that one call got her a tow and rental, paid her claim, and we even pulled a few strings, making it easy to make things right. That's what we're made for. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for. Get a quote today.
If you can afford to launch yourself into space, you can pay your fair share in taxes. But billionaires and big corporations have avoided paying taxes for years. President Joe Biden's plan makes the rich pay their fair share so we can cut taxes for families with children and create millions of good jobs. Tell Senator Ron Johnson to stop putting billionaires ahead of the middle class. If you can afford to joyride in space, you can pay your fair share.
Looks like it's time to trade, because it's trade month at your local Ford dealers. Get more cash for your eligible trade-in. Any brand, any model, all month long. Get Trade Assist cash on top of what your eligible vehicle is worth and trade up to a new Ford SUV. Your trade-in is worth more than you think, only during trade month. Right now, get up to $1,000 Trade Assist bonus cash on eligible models. It's trade month at your Wisconsin and UP Ford dealers.
Delivery is always fresh because we check our produce at every stop on its journey to you. We're fresh every day, so shop anyway. Pick and Save. Fresh for everyone.
Take a look at this.
Uh-oh, what is that? It's a mantis praying for a rally.
Yep, a praying mantis set up shop on Victor Robles' rally hat as the Nationals took to the outfield at the top of the ninth. The mantis held on tight and didn't seem to mind. The same one for Robles, who eventually realized the bug was on his head. He even seemed to inform it on the number of outs at one point. The rally bug didn't help the Nationals. They lost to Philly.
And now it's a viral moment.
How does that stay on?
Yeah, you can't tell it's on there. Somebody had to tell him, right?
That's pretty cool.
That's pretty funny. Well, things are about to get pretty nutty.
Celebrate all the nuttiness on today because it's National Grab Some Nuts Days. Almonds, pistachios, pecans, many others. A large part of many diets, sometimes used as a topping or a standalone snack. Some nuts can provide necessary good fats, and some are filled with minerals and nutrients. I have my pecans every day. Or my almonds, I mean.
Yeah, so do I. I have a bag of nuts in my purse right now. Sorry, Julian, we can't share because of our distancing policy.
It's all good.
How are you?
Hey, how are you guys?
Nice day out there today.
Oh, it's a nice day, and we're looking for a nice evening as well. Even a good night for some nuts for if you would like to have that kind of delicacy. We'll take a look at your forecast coming up for tonight in just a few moments.
Health has 3 convenient urgent care locations for the care you need without the wait. We have clinics in Oregon, Stoughton, and McFarland with extended hours to fit your schedule. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
Go on, put yourselves through all that pain. Don't be silly. Nothing's tougher on pain than Advil. Nothing. Pain says you can't. Advil says you can.
Attic Angel Community has earned a reputation as the one and only. But what's so memorable to the people who live here?
It's good local heart.
Interesting friends.
The view from my window.
Continuing education.
The food.
The amazing art studio.
Happy hour.
There are many reasons to love Attic Angel Community, but there's just one Attic Angel.
Angie's List is now Angie, and summer is the perfect time to book your next home project. From landscaping to lawn care to the project of your dreams, Angie connects you with top pros and protects you with a happiness guarantee when you book and pay at Angie.com. Angie, and done.
Important healthcare announcement. If people tell you your TV is too loud, or if listening in some environments has become difficult, we are requesting your participation in a special program called the 30-Day Challenge. Hearing Life Hearing Centers are seeking people with hearing difficulties to evaluate a new digital mini hearing aid now being released. To take part in this event, you must call. Please get a pencil and write down the number below. All people with hearing aids or hearing difficulties are wanted to take part in the 30-Day Challenge, evaluating a new high-tech device that sits discreetly behind your ear. This hearing aid is Bluetooth enabled and is rechargeable. All hearing assessments are performed at no charge for those taking part in the challenge. Participants will try these hearing aids for 30 days. Call the number below and take the Hearing Life 30-Day Challenge.
Stoughton Health has 3 convenient urgent care locations for the care you need without the wait. We have clinics in Oregon, Stoughton, and McFarland with extended hours to fit your schedule. Stoughton Health, creating excellence together.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Welcome back, everyone. Hopefully you have enjoyed your Tuesday so far. And as we're getting into the evening, we are still looking at some quiet conditions, but here's some things to know as we continue throughout our severe weather season. Now, the National Weather Service has put out a destructive category for severe thunderstorm warnings that will only go out for areas that are affected by that type of weather. Now, as we go throughout, there are 3 categories into it. Base will be the normal severe thunderstorm, where we're looking at winds that will be 58 miles per hour and quarter-sized hail. Considerable damage would be 70 miles per hour winds with golf ball sized hail. And as we get into the destructive, we're going to be looking at 80 miles per hour winds, even stronger, or in hail about baseball size. Now, in terms of this, these warnings will only be triggered by destructive, and it will trigger a wireless emergency alert on devices for areas that are going to be warned for that certain category. So that's something we'll be looking at as we go into the rest of our severe weather season. Now, for our 3 things that we'll need to know going into we are still looking at pleasantly warm conditions for us. And as we are sticking into the dry streak, we are looking at some chances of seeing a little bit of rain, but just not a whole lot, as we have the humidity bringing in potential storms for this weekend. Now, as we are taking a look at our radar over the last 2 hours, we are actually looking at some very isolated thunderstorms just outside of the Dells, but for everywhere else, we are looking at some pretty dry conditions for us as we get into the rest of our night. Now, in terms of what else we could be expecting, still might see a spot of shower within the next hour, but temperatures and conditions are going to be very pleasant for tonight. We're looking at clearing skies, cool conditions, especially as we get into our Wednesday morning. We're looking at very comfortable conditions to wake up to. Now, as we take a look at our evening planner, we are still going to be looking at that cool conditions, nice and trending going into tonight, and mostly clear sky for us as well. And for tonight, we are going to be looking at our low to be around 58 degrees, a nice light wind from the southwest with mostly clear and pleasant conditions for tonight. Now, as we're talking about for the next few days, we are going to be seeing above average temperatures as we get into the weekend, so expect that heat to turn itself up as we go into the next 6 to 10 days. Precipitation is also going to start to raise itself as we go into the weekend as well, which is some good things because we do need some precipitation. Now, for the next few days, we are looking for that trend of 84, and then we get into the weekend, that's when the heat's going to come back. With that, we are starting to see humidity start to raise itself once again, so we're going to be looking at heat indexes that will be into the 90s as well. But until then, Susan, Mark, we are looking at some warm and nice conditions until we get into the weekend.
But you're right, we need some rain.
Yes, we do. Absolutely.
All right, Julian, thank you. Although summer may be winding down, hear that? Chances to save money will only be ramping up this month.
Consumer Report says August is a great month to save money on high-quality products thanks to Labor Day and back-to-school sales.
Our Leah Lynchide tells us all about it.
Back to school and end of summer shopping is here. Consumer Reports tracks the prices of many of its top tested products all year long, so it knows exactly when they go on deep discount. Here are the top products to look out for in this month's best time to buy.
Back to school shopping season is in full swing. It will run through probably mid to late September. You'll be seeing deals on all the tech devices that you'll need for the school season, whether that's laptops or computers, printers, wireless routers. And a good way to shop when you're shopping back to school is to not try to find everything at once. Shop for what you need as you see it.
First up on deep discount, computers. CR found this Mac Mini for $649 at Amazon. The Mac Mini shows fast speeds in CR's performance tests and scores well in owner satisfaction. Next, strengthen your connection and make it more secure by upgrading your router. The Netgear Orbi Mesh router system is $97 at Amazon. CR says this mesh network scored very good for mid-range and far-range distances in its tests. Another item that can go a long way this school year, a tablet. The Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 tablet is $530 at Amazon. And finally, you can at least try to keep that college dorm room clean with a robotic vacuum. This Eufy RoboVac is $220 at Amazon. CR says this extremely quiet RoboVac excelled at cleaning and navigating this specially designed test lab.
Vacuums in general tend to go on sale all throughout the year, so my best recommendation is never pay full price for a vacuum.
Have a great end to your summer. For News 3 Now, this is Leah Lynchide.
And Consumer Report says to keep in mind that the deals included in this report can be gone before you know it, so you should take advantage of the sales early, especially on popular products.
Have you seen all the back-to-school ads?
I know.
Yep.
It's
August already. It's August, yeah.
Weeks away. You know, this is the last weekend. There will be no NFL games until February.
Well, that's good news. We're looking forward to that coming back.
But after this weekend, there'll be NFL games every weekend until February.
Wow, that's interesting.
All right, coming up next on Live at 4, a new kind of tourism and what vaccines have to do with it.
And then coming up tonight at 5, the psychology of returning to masks. If you're feeling anxious about it, you're not alone. We'll have that story coming up at 5.
Your heart is at the heart of everything you do. And if you have heart failure, there's Entresto. Entresto has proven superior at helping people stay alive and out of the hospital. Don't take Entresto if pregnant. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren, or if you've had angioedema with an ACE or ARB. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high blood potassium. Ask your doctor about Entresto.
I'm Scott the Window Guy with AHT Wisconsin Windows. Our solid core. Sorry everyone, I get a notification every time I get a positive review online.
Makeup.
Thanks, Dawn. We think our windows are pretty great too. Take 2. I'm Scott the Window Guy with AHT Wisconsin Windows. Our solid core, composite frame, triple pane windows are worth a positive review at scottthewindowguy.com.
Cut! Somebody give me his phone.
Aaron, seriously?
Aloha, I'm Gary Canulte, inviting News 3 Now viewers on a tour to the Hawaiian Islands October 19th through the 28th. Enjoy the tropical scenery on Oahu, the Big Island, and Maui. We'll pay our respects at Pearl Harbor, view Volcanoes National Park, and discover unique sea life at the Maui Ocean Center. Visit holidayvacations.com, keyword WISC, for information on how you can attend a virtual travel show or call 888-557-1020 for a free brochure.
Erectile dysfunction for men of all ages has become much more common. In fact, most men don't realize that 90% of erectile dysfunction is a direct result of broken down old blood vessels. This causes a lack of blood flow that is critical when achieving an erection. With our state-of-the-art technology, we're able to stimulate new stem cell growth right in our office with no pills, no needles, no surgery, and no pain.
To book your consultation and get back to natural functionability, call Peak Performance for Men today.
Tonight at 5, as COVID cases jump in Wisconsin, Madison and Dane County are enforcing their employees to get a COVID vaccine or be tested weekly, while they're making vaccines mandatory at 5.
And we're in for a very summery but overall quiet stretch for the next few days with sunshine and warm temperatures. A little rain building back in by the weekend, though. We'll look at your full 10-day.
And ahead at 6, we'll look ahead to the Wisconsin State Fair and what precautions organizers are putting in place to stop the spread of COVID-19.
This is a live look at the Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. It's one of the most famous intersections in the world, I'm told, Susan.
One of the busiest in the world, but not right at this moment.
What time is it there? It's like probably 5 in the morning?
Good question,
13 hours? Well, while vaccines are widely available across the United States, some around the world are still desperate to get the shot.
Ian Lee has more on how some are willing to pay big bucks to be vaccinated.
Amber Chow was desperate to get a COVID-19 vaccine. She's responsible for taking care of her aging parents back in Taiwan. So she spent $18,000 on flights and hotels to get one in America.
I need to protect myself, then I can protect my family.
Because of the slow rollout of vaccines around the world, some people are becoming vaccine tourists, flying to the U.S. to get their shots.
It's not just for Brazil or for the U.S., it's for the world.
Like, everybody wants the world to come back to the normal life.
Many arriving in San Francisco get the Johnson & Johnson one and done. Since May, the airport has vaccinated around 1,000 people from over 50 countries.
We've got a surplus supply, and being able to make that available for others is really a good thing, and it really helps everyone.
Thank you so much.
Meaning this trip of a lifetime could ultimately help save a life. Ian Lee, CBS News.
Nearly 29% of the world's population has received one dose of a COVID vaccine.
And researchers say roughly 15% are fully vaccinated.
Well, the Delta variant shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, COVID infections are on the rise.
We'll get the latest numbers from UW Health's Chief Quality Officer, Dr. Jeff Potoff. He'll join us when Live at 4 continues.
If a nurse is what you want to be, let Herzing University make it possible in lots of different ways. Whether you're planning to become a nurse for the first time or take your nursing career to the next level, Herzing offers learning options and a choice of nursing pathways, all with personal care and support. We'll even waive your enrollment fee. Be exactly the nurse you want to be.
I'm possible at Herzing. I'm possible at Herzing.
I'm possible at Herzing. I'm possible at Herzing. Call or click today.
At Pick and Save, we take scrutinizing freshness to a whole new level, where only the best of the best of the best will do. But just because you can't get any higher than perfect 10 produce, that doesn't mean that we won't try. Because Pick and Save produce isn't just fresh, it's fresher than fresh. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Attic Angel Community has earned a reputation as the one and only. But what's so memorable to the people who live here?
It's good local heart.
Interesting friends.
The view from my window.
Continuing education.
The food.
The amazing art studio.
Happy hour.
There are many reasons to love Attic Angel Community, but there's just one Attic Angel.
It's that time of year again where you just want a little fresh air.
Maybe a cool midnight breeze through a window, or the smell of fresh-cut grass through a patio door. If your windows or doors aren't letting you enjoy the season, consider Renewal by Anderson Replacement Windows from Wanakee Remodeling. For a limited time, take advantage of our great offer. Renewal by Anderson Windows. Let's crack one open.
If you can afford to launch yourself into space, you can pay your fair share in taxes. But billionaires and big corporations have avoided paying taxes for years. President Joe Biden's plan makes the rich pay their fair share so we can cut taxes for families with children and create millions of good jobs. Tell Senator Ron Johnson to stop putting billionaires ahead of the middle class. If you can afford to joyride in space, you can pay your fair share.
The light at the end of the tunnel isn't shining so brightly for everyone. Families continue to fight for survival. Some jobs are gone forever. Bills pile up. But please know, you have not been forgotten. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. Apply now for a hand up.
And we're going to take a quick look at our traffic as of right now. Still some slow spots along the Beltline, but as we go throughout, we are just looking at our normal type of traffic that is around this time of day for our commute. Now, as we take a closer look, we can see a bit slower as we are driving eastbound of our Beltline, but for the most part, not too bad in terms of our traffic. Now, as we take a look at what we're seeing from Beltline to Janesville, we're looking at 25 minutes to get there, and we're still moving. The average speed is around 71 miles per hour. And from Middleton to Sauk City, we're looking at 16 minutes, and for downtown to Sun Prairie, 17 minutes. We are still moving, even though some spots are a little bit slower than others, but as of right now, traffic isn't too bad. Just a normal everyday Tuesday.
All right, that's good news. Thank you, Julian. Well, here's a sign of hope in San Francisco. The city's historic cable cars are back in limited service after being suspended last year due to the pandemic. Current cars are limited, but officials say they should be back to full service soon. In the meantime, to celebrate the comeback, residents and visitors can enjoy a San Francisco treat, a month of rides free of charge. It's good to see.
It's good to have them back.
Yeah.
All right, and speaking of back, we'll be right back.
Parker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy an air conditioner. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase an air conditioner and a furnace at the same time.
Parker Heating and Cooling.
To be a thriver with metastatic breast cancer means asking for what we want and need, and we need more time. So we want Kisqali. Living longer is possible and proven with Kisqali when taken with a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor in premenopausal women with HR-positive, HER2-negative metastatic breast cancer. Kisqali is a pill that's significantly more effective at delaying disease progression versus a non-steroidal aromatase inhibitor alone. Kisqali can cause lung problems or an abnormal heartbeat, which can lead to death. It can cause serious skin reactions, liver problems, and low white blood cell counts that may result in severe infections. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including breathing problems, cough, chest pain, a change in your heartbeat, dizziness, yellowing of the skin or eyes, dark urine, tiredness, loss of appetite, abdomen pain, bleeding, bruising, fever, chills, or other symptoms of an infection, a severe or worsening rash, are or plan to become pregnant, or breastfeeding. Avoid grapefruit during treatment. Kisqali is not approved for use with tamoxifen. Ask your doctor about living longer with Kisqali.
As you remodel, don't toss your cabinets and appliances. Donate to Habitat Restore. Give your items a second life while proceeds build Habitat for Humanity homes. Donate today. Habitat Restore, Dane County.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy an air conditioner. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase an air conditioner and a furnace at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Hi, folks. Wednesday on News 3 Now this morning, we're checking out a pop-up art gallery showcasing local artists in the 608.
And Chris Reese is looking ahead to the second half of the work week at his first warrant forecast. Join us from 4:30 to 7 for News 3 Now this morning.
Away from your TV? Not a problem. Get breaking news, weather alerts, and political coverage from the award-winning News 3 Now team. Plus, all things Madison. Stay connected anywhere with Channel 3000, Madison's #1 digital news source.
If you'd like, check the radar, because I accidentally saved it on yours.
I don't think we're quite ready for the weather, so...
And we are going to be looking at...
Oh, there he is.
Yes, here we are. Tonight, we're looking at 58 degrees for our low for tonight. It's going to be mostly clear and pleasant. That is what we're going to be enjoying for us as we go into tonight. Until then, folks, definitely enjoy yourself, and we're going to give it back to you guys.
All right. Good job, Julian. Saved the day. Well done. Well, 70% of American adults now have at least one shot of the COVID vaccine. But the number of COVID cases is now higher than last summer's peak.
COVID-19 vaccinations are on the rise, but more people are getting infected as well. UW Health Chief Quality Officer Dr. Jeff Potoff joins us. Last week, you were sitting here on the set without a mask. We're back to the Zoom. It shows you how much things can change in a week.
Yeah, I know. You know, science isn't known for its twists and turns, but we sure have them.
Well, we had troubling numbers today. 1,391 new cases in the last day. That is the highest since February 10th.
In Wisconsin.
In Wisconsin, which is almost 6 months ago now. So what's going on? Is that the Delta variant?
It's the Delta variant, and you know, when we took away masks and distancing for those who are vaccinated, we know that a lot of unvaccinated folks did the same thing. They got rid of their masks, they started to gather. So you combine a highly transmissible variant with folks that are giving it the perfect opportunity to infect them, and you start to see these case numbers that we're starting to see now in the state.
Us here at the station, a lot of businesses now are requiring masks indoors, even for vaccinated people. What's changed there?
So back in May, the best science said that before the Delta came around, if you were vaccinated, got exposed to COVID-19, not only was breakthrough very, very rare, but the ability to transmit to other people wasn't really there. You couldn't do it. Now with Delta, that's all different. Breakthrough cases are not common, but we see them more often. And those people who are vaccinated who do have a breakthrough case carry enough virus in their nose to actually transmit it to other people. So almost the opposite result of what we saw in May, and hence the recommendation to mask.
So breakthrough infections of the Delta variant are contagious. Even if you're fully vaccinated, you have the potential to spread it to someone else as the same way as an unvaccinated person would. Is that right?
That's right, and that's the difference from May. In May, with previous variants, not Delta, you couldn't spread it to other people, so you didn't need to wear the mask because you were no risk to anyone. Now with Delta, that's changed, and that's why you're seeing these recommendations, even for vaccinated, to wear a mask, especially in areas with high transmission and in crowded areas where there are likely unvaccinated people around you.
Well, the good news, though, Dr. Potoff, is hospitalizations from the Delta variant are very low. Is that true?
And those who are vaccinated, they don't get very severe disease. In fact, many of them have no idea that they actually have the virus at all. For those who are unvaccinated, we are seeing hospitalizations of folks with Delta variant, and it's not acting a whole lot different than what we know with coronavirus as far as, getting people sick, getting them really sick, being in the ICU. If you're unvaccinated, those risks all still apply to you.
I think a lot of vaccinated people are pretty disheartened by all of this. That, okay, we're wearing a mask again. What was this all for?
And I think that's reasonable. It's really disappointing, where we're at. I think the good news is that we'll get through this Delta hump. Ideally, if this does result in more vaccinations, maybe there doesn't need to be another hump. But if there is, we'll just undulate on this curve for a little while. But ultimately, I do think we'll get out of this. It's just, instead of having an end date and being done, we might have this tale of up and downs that go on for a few more months.
And I think the timing, it's August, and school is going to be here before we know it. That sort of increases a little bit of the anxiety about what the fall will bring. What do you expect to see?
I think we will, for the short term, continue to see some additional Delta cases. As more folks get vaccinated, as these mitigation strategies get put in place and we start to mask, we should be able to quickly decrease those numbers. But for kids going back to school, I think the most important message is, what we knew in May is not what we know today. And decisions that we made about how to keep kids safe in school back in May no longer hold true for kids that go back to school in August and September. So really important important for those educators to really reevaluate their protocols and make sure that they're in line with the current science.
Yeah, it's a changing scene every day, it seems. Doctor, thanks for being with us today. Hopefully you'll be back here on the set sometime soon.
Yeah. Dr.
Can't
Potoff,
wait to get back there.
thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Take care. We'll be right back.
Your family's year-round comfort is our year-round commitment at RG Heating and Air Conditioning. We install quality Trane equipment and service all brands so your home's furnace and AC will perform their best year-round. RG Heating and AC.
Ask about our Designer Kids package or free lens upgrade. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Since 1976, Feldco stood the test of time. It's Feldco's 45th anniversary! Time to get down! To celebrate Feldco's 45th anniversary, get 45% off windows today. That's cause for a celebration.
45% off windows won't last long. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
At Stanley Steamer, we love homes. It's why we started cleaning them over 70 years ago and why we still continue today. According to the CDC, cleaning is a necessary first step of any disinfection process. We use detergents and cleaning agents to ensure that your home is prepared for whatever life brings in. Whatever home means to you, we're ready when you are to make sure your space is clean and that you and the ones you care about most are safe.
Taco night is heartburn you can plan for, but surprise pizza means heartburn you didn't expect. New Zantac 360 Degrees contains the #1 doctor-recommended medicine approved to both prevent and relieve heartburn and works in as little as 15 minutes. New Zantac 360.
Is your credit score getting in the way of things you want to do? Personal loans through NetCredit help you borrow up to $10,000. So check your eligibility on netcredit.com today without affecting your credit score. You may even be able to build your credit history as you repay. NetCredit, a more personal loan.
At RG Heating and Air Conditioning, our promise to you is 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Guaranteed service, repairs, and replacements. Installing quality Trane equipment. RG Heating and AC. We'll always treat you like family. Guaranteed.
In today's Final Touch, the sound of bells is filling the air in the Russian town of Tudovo.
Bell ringers from cities across Russia have gathered in the ancient town to showcase the ancient skill of bell ringing. The ringers play conical church bell melodies, but also create their own music. One ringer explains how the same melody will sound different when played in different belfries. The bell tower is an instrument in itself that the ringer has no control over. The main instruments featured in the festival, the bells, were cast at a local factory. The bell ringing festival before the Savior borrows its name from the procession with the biggest Orthodox icon of them all, the Merciful Savior, and is